Okay, I have a feeling to make this video. I've had it for the last few days. This is something I deeply struggled with, like my whole life, and nobody really could comfort this. I had actually a sponsor though, when I was in the NA program when I was 15. I met him and he saved my life. And he actually was the only one that really gave me permission to feel bad without making it look like I'm not doing something, like I'm doing something wrong. That's why I'm feeling bad. This is what everybody does, almost, including the spiritual teachers. When I watch the people go up on the to the podium and ask a question, and they can be in some pain or have some obstruction or something that's causing them psychological turmoil, and then when the teacher speaks, it's like, well, it's because you're looking at things like that. Just stop doing that. Recognize, be aware that the voice or the emotions there stay as the presence. There you go. They have that connotation though, like that's all you got to do. Like all you got to do. Like if you want to pick up this leaf, you just pick it up like this, and then that's what you do. And then this turmoil will go away. And then people are like, I don't know. I hear what you're saying, but like, I can't do it. Or intellectually, I understand what you're saying, but they can. And then the teacher will say, but it's not intellect. Like, recognize it's the intellect that's saying it. So then you go deeper than the intellect. Again, it's like, what's wrong with you? Why don't you get it? Now, that's still good pointings and suggestions and advice. Because what are you going to say to somebody if they have a problem? You're going to say like, it's okay, man. You know, you don't exist. There's no problems. Or feel bad till you feel good. That's what my sponsor told me. There's a place though for that. That's my point. Blend it. That's what you do. I don't hear the blend much from other teachers. And that was my problem when I was going to them, and it's why I didn't feel bad. That's why I kept, like, I didn't feel good a lot of times after I talked to them. I needed somebody who shared those examples I gave when the teacher tells them, be aware, stay as a presence, you're watching your thoughts. I needed that for sure, because that's part of the the evolution that somehow we have to hear, because it shifts our consciousness and perception when we hear that enough. Okay, that's necessary. But what about the other side? The other side is, it might take a bit of time for that alchemic process to happen. You see, remember the leaf example. It's not that like you tell somebody that it don't work the same way as if I tell you pick up this leaf. Success, that was easy. This isn't the same thing, because we're talking about a very strong, resistant, karmic nature in identification with this human matrix form that's going to resist these spiritual pointings, even though these pointings are right on and they're true. That resistance is going to be there. You can't just hear something and expect it just to be nullified in one moment. That could happen, okay? It's very rare though. So that's the main message I want to give, is this blend. You have your spiritual practice, you do what you know is the answer and the solution, but don't be identified with these expectations that the mind's going to produce and say, well, it's not working though. What's wrong with you? Like, what's wrong with you, man? You're doing the things that you need to do, that will bring you into a state of serenity, but yet you don't feel it. Or it's like the habits, I'm applying this self-inquiry or these non-dual pointings, but yet these habits are still there. Or I'm trying to apply it, but it's like the mind attack is so strong. These energies, heavy energies, are so strong, I can't even focus on the practice. I can't even do self-inquiry or meditate right now because it's like, I'm just taken over by this, like what to do. But yet then the mind will say, but well, wait, I know I'm the self, I'm the pure self though, and I'm non-dual and none of this exists. So what's wrong with me? Why do I keep, you see how you create more stress for yourself? You beat yourself up, and then the mind will compare yourself, put on the YouTube person, and when you're in that state, oh, it's just, everything's just so blissful. The bliss don't even exist. See, you're going to watch that, and that's going to compound this stress, and you're just going to be all messed up. And then you're going to think, like, I'm just not carved out to awaken in this life. It's like, it's just too hard. I'm not special. These people are special. Look how blissed out they are. Yeah, right. Some of you see through that. They're like it's like an actor. It's just acting blissed out. That's the worst. I'd rather see somebody be where you're at in the moment. Do that. That's so much more attractive than putting on this painted smile and, so you gotta hold space for yourself. Some people can hold space for others, but you can't hold space for your own self. You gotta hold space for yourself. Don't apologize if you're in some emotional turmoil or heaviness. It's like people on the spiritual path, they beat themselves up and they criticize. See, they don't just criticize themselves, they criticize other people. Because they put somebody, they're like, but dude, you're spiritual. What are you doing? Like, you're spiritual. Like you're supposed to like feel good. Why'd you get upset because somebody you walked by and they bumped you? Why'd you get upset? Like, you're spiritual. Like, love them. Go hug them or something. Like, you're spiritual. This is some of the sick things that happen in the spiritual communities, you see. And a lot of times it's silent, it's hidden. It's like some natural human tendency or emotion will come up, and then you'll feel the others. They're like, see, like judging you. I wouldn't do that. So then the person, you learn to suppress yourself. Spiritual people like more suppressed than people who are like in deep into addictions. I'm gonna make a video on addiction, by the way. It's a good one. You see what I mean? Somebody who's just like, look, man, like, this is what I do. My friend in Florida, I told you, I'd known him for 33 years. He's the total opposite of me, but he's like, in the heart, like we're like that. And I have a picture of him. Damn it, I don't think I have it anymore. He's 400 pounds, he loves pizzas and hamburgers and all this stuff. And there was one day he had a beer in one hand, a cigarette in another, and a beef jerky in his mouth. And he's like, that's good, wasn't it? He's spiritual though. He's being real. This is who he is. This is why I like him. I'd hang out with him, man, like any day, or anybody like that, compared to somebody who's like putting on the spiritual character and walking around saying how beautiful everything is and all that stuff. This is like, oh man. So accept yourself, accept the human self. It's not who you are anyway, so who cares? Did I finish on the suppression thing? In the spiritual groups though, it's like this stuff is hidden though. Like the person doesn't know. Like they know, but it's like hidden. Where they're like afraid to be human because of being judged by the so-called spiritual people. And so they just keep suppressing everything, And it's very claustrophobic, and you can feel the energy. It's just stifling. Makes you want to go out and hang out with the mafia or something after being around them, Just like, give me somebody real. I don't care if they're doing something bad or wrong. I just want somebody real. So that's the thing. It's always duality. There's always two sides to everything. You accept your human self. You let it play out. according to its karmic destiny and all that. But you remember, you remain like, you give some attention to who you are. Who you are is consciousness. It's not that. It's not the human self. And then at the same time, you keep progressing and you try to purify the human self, and you do your spiritual practice and sadhana, and of course you work on, you work on yourself, your compassion and tolerance. What does it mean, work on yourself? It means being aware when you're not compassionate or tolerant. Just bringing awareness to that. Don't lie to yourself and think because you have a smile that means you're being compassionate. No, you can feel inside if you're lacking compassion. Then don't judge yourself for lacking compassion though, okay? So that's the preliminary. And then you look and see, like, why did I not have compassion for that person though? I was standing in line, I was nice, I was at the bank, and I'm trying to, I asked how your day is, and they said, yeah, how can I help you? Then the ego, ego can be, well, damn, like, all right, you want to play? I'm trying to be nice, and then why do you give me that answer? That's called not having compassion. So then you look at that. You don't blame them, nor do you put on a smile and act like it don't bother you. If it's bothering you, you look inside and see how it's bothering you, and then you look at it. That's what you do. The laser light of consciousness will purify, and it does all the alchemy. That's all you got to do, is just be aware of something. Then intuitive insight will come, maybe why you were judging them. And then you look at that, and then it's, okay. And then you become more and more free of it. That's a process, though. That never ends. There's always something else to work on. That's cool. Give space for that, because it's not who you are anyway. You've built this human self that's in this evolutionary game, and you're like trying to perfect it, and it never ends. There's always some idiosyncrasy. Every master has one. So you chill, let the show go on, recognize who you are, and as best as you can, as often as you can, and then it just keeps evolving, and you get to a point where you're just pretty good, Yeah. See you.